So I went Valentine's Day shopping for my little baby and my partner. Haven't got anything for Cooper yet, maybe a little dog treat or something for Valentine's Day, but they always say life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And in my case, I got 3 chocolate hearts that are my favorite Lindor chocolates. And also in my box of life, I got endometriosis. So that was a fun little surprise in my chocolate box of life. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and are having a flare-free day. Thanks so much for coming to my channel. If you're new, my name is Em. I'm an endometriosis advocate here in Canada, and everything on my channel is related to living life with a chronic condition, as well as bits and bobs about my recent pregnancy journey while living with endometriosis. I am so happy that you're here. Now, because the love day, V-Day, the day of love, is just around the corner, I thought, what better day to put out a video all about chocolate? Cysts. I recently put out a video, I think it was yesterday, that was all about kissing ovaries. I've been doing this little series leading up to Valentine's Day, all about things that are somewhat related to Valentine's, like kissing and chocolate, but have absolutely nothing to do with Valentine's Day itself. So today's video is all about chocolate cysts, what they are, how they relate to endometriosis, and some symptoms that may be coming up with them. It's definitely a term that I had never heard about in the beginning of my endometriosis journey. I don't know if you're the same in yours, but when I heard chocolate cysts, I was like, what is that? Is it when you eat chocolate and you get a cyst? Or is it just like a sweeter cyst than other cysts? I don't know. My head was going in all different imagination directions. So chocolate cysts are non-cancerous fluid-filled cysts that typically form deep within the ovaries. They get their name of chocolate cyst because of their dark tar-like appearance, looking something like melted chocolate. They also have a more medical name to them called ovarian endometriomas. The color of these cysts come from old menstrual blood and tissue that fills the cavity of the cyst. So I'm a visual learner and I just bit into this delicious Lindor chocolate. And so I guess if we can look at the shell of the chocolate as the ovary, the external portion of the ovary, the internal part of the ovary would have like a fluid-filled substance that looks similar to melted chocolate. This would be a similar color and texture to the chocolate cyst that would be forming deep within the ovaries. Now, research is still ongoing when it comes to chocolate cysts and endometriosis, but approximately 20 to 40% of individuals with endometriosis have chocolate cysts present, also known as, again, ovarian endometriomas. That estimate is provided by the Endometriosis Foundation of America. Something to note too is that individuals that have endometriosis don't necessarily have to have chocolate cysts or ovarian endometriomas present to have endo. Again, endo is a full body systemic inflammatory disease, so it can present differently throughout the body and it can present differently when it's on different organs in the human body. But I do want to stress that if chocolate cysts are present or if there are ovarian endometriomas present on imaging techniques or during surgery, it is a full confirmation that that individual does suffer with endometriosis. The size of the cyst that is present doesn't dictate the level of pain that somebody has. This means that an individual can have an extremely small chocolate cyst and experience excruciating symptoms, whereas someone with a larger cyst may not experience any symptoms whatsoever, but may be impacted by fertility concerns. Chocolate cysts can range in size from 2 centimeters to 20 centimeters in size. When symptoms of chocolate cysts do occur, typically the symptoms are associated with what we think of when endometriosis symptoms are present. We have extremely painful periods and extremely painful cramping around the time of menstruation. We have pelvic pain that is not associated around the time of our period. So if you're experiencing pain and discomfort outside of the time of your period, it could be a sign of a chocolate cyst. Irregular periods. Now, I talked about this a bit in my last video about kissing ovaries. Irregular periods are basically when you're bleeding more or less than typically normal for you and your body, or if your period is lasting longer in duration, so if you're bleeding longer or more days, or you're bleeding less days than normal for you. That's typically what an irregular period is. So it's dependent on the individual. Everyone's menstrual cycle and the time of their periods are different. So what is typically normal for you and you're seeing irregularities with that, that could be a sign of a chocolate cyst. or endometriosis more generally. Pain during sex or intercourse is also a sign that a chocolate cyst may be present, or fertility concerns with some individuals. If a chocolate cyst ruptures, it can cause immediate severe abdominal pain and discomfort, specifically on the side of the body where the cyst is located. I want to stress in a medical disclaimer that if a cyst ruptures and you experience excruciating amounts of pain, just generally in your life, it is really important to seek medical care immediately. Now, you might be wondering if ovarian endometriomas or chocolate cysts are related to a certain stage of endometriosis. I do have a video all about endometriosis staging if you want to check that out after this one. But typically, ovarian endometriomas or chocolate cysts are typically seen with those suffering with stage 3 and stage 4 of endometriosis, which is the more severe staging of the disease. Additional symptoms of chocolate cysts include the frequency to urinate, pain during bowel movements or urination, back pain, vomiting, nausea, and bloating. Again, it's really hard to differentiate between endometriosis more generally and the presentation of chocolate cysts. Endometriosis has all of these same similar symptoms, as well as other chronic conditions like pelvic inflammatory disease and PCOS. So again, generally, it's really important to go talk to your doctor or medical practitioner to outline your symptoms that you have consistently and to seek medical care and to investigate what's going on, because the pain that you experience may be associated with endo or chocolate cysts, but it could also be something related to something else that you want to get checked out. So just a medical disclaimer that please check out any concerns with your medical doctor, any symptoms you're having recurring often, or anything you want to talk about, just to make sure and rule out other serious conditions that may be causing similar pain. How are chocolate cysts or ovarian endometriomas diagnosed? The provider can diagnose ovarian endometriomas or chocolate cysts by removing a portion of the cell during surgery typically and investigating it in a lab. Usually this procedure happens during endometriosis laparoscopic surgery. During the surgery, if your specialist sees an ovarian endometrioma present and they biopsy it in a lab, typically the results will show that endometrial glands and stroma cells are present in that biopsy. During the surgery, diagnosis and treatment can happen at the same time. Also, I just want to stress that surgery is a huge undertaking. I talk about this in other videos, but there are risks associated with surgery. So if you're not quite ready to take it on, or your insurance doesn't cover it, or whatever it may be, please make sure that you make the decision around surgery for you and yourself and your body and your health, and don't feel pressured to do anything that you're just not quite ready to take on yet. Physical examinations and ultrasound techniques and imaging techniques can provide clues that an ovarian endometrioma or chocolate cyst is present. If the cyst is large enough, typically it will be seen on ultrasounds, MRIs, CT scans, and transvaginal ultrasounds. Your provider, after the imaging techniques and procedures are conducted, will let you know that there is a mass that is suspected to be an ovarian endometrioma. Chocolate cysts can look very similar to other cysts on imaging, because if it's another cyst that contains blood, it will look very similar on ultrasound techniques. So sometimes when there's imaging involved, you do want to make sure that a biopsy is conducted to rule out other types of cysts that may be forming in that area of the body. To be sure it's ovarian endometrioma or a chocolate cyst, a biopsy should be taken to investigate that tissue makeup. When it comes to fertility, chocolate cysts and the presentation of them on the surface of the ovary or within the deep layer of the ovary can cause fertility concerns. But despite the damage that chocolate cysts can present on ovaries, individuals have still been able to conceive naturally or through the support of IVF treatments to become pregnant. A 2015 study followed individuals with regular menstrual cycles with the presentation of chocolate cysts, specifically on just one ovary. Researchers found that 43% of those that were studied were able to become pregnant. These individuals were followed for 4 years. So it's a good study. I'll put it down below in the description box, but again, everyone's case when it comes to fertility is different and unique. Chocolate cysts can be present on one or both ovaries. So again, the impact of these can be devastating to some, whereas others may have success when becoming pregnant. Symptoms of chocolate cysts and ovarian endometriomas can be managed through natural pain remedies, and I've talked about this in another video that I'll post up here. But natural pain remedies can include heat therapy, warm baths, warm tea after a flare-up, acupuncture for back pain that you experience, massages to release stress that you're holding on to associated with pains that come and go in relation to endometriosis and chocolate cysts. But there are also medications that help relieve pain and discomfort if medication is an option that you want to go through in your endometriosis journey. Again, talk to your doctor and medical provider about medication options. Sometimes, again, it's really important to recognize that medications are just sometimes a band-aid solution because endometriosis tissue, stroma, and adhesions are often still present in the body without surgical removal. So I hope this video has been helpful and informative. Again, chocolate cysts can be common in endometriosis journeys. So if you're dealing with any of the pains or symptoms that I talked about in today's video, definitely talk to your doctor about it and get some answers for your health and your well-being and your quality of life because you deserve it. I'd be curious to know if you've ever heard about chocolate cysts in the comments down below, or if you've dealt with it in your own endometriosis journey. If there were treatment options that helped you with your chocolate cyst and ovarian endometrioma journey, feel free to comment that down below. I'm sure it will help somebody else in their endometriosis journey looking for different options for treatment and pain management to bring up with their doctor in their next checkup. I cannot wait to talk to you on the next one. And in the meantime, I hope that you have some self-love given to you today in the lead up to V-Day. And I hope that you enjoy some chocolate today because you deserve it. Talk to you on the next one. Bye.